Okay, before my battery is about to die, a very good morning, afternoon, evening. It is our special book club time together for 1 hour of hour of power. And we are starting, we're on the second week of the Source, Taurus Swart, and the beautiful Chrissy Vick is starting us on page XV1, which is Roman numerals for 16, top of the page. Off you go, my lovely Chrissy.
Hello. I was finally doing work I really wanted to do, and this had a rewarding influence everywhere I went. I surrounded myself with people that I knew supported me and what I was trying to achieve. I made an action board every year without fail. I kept a journal to track my thoughts and emotional responses to everything that happened, slowly counseling myself towards trust and gratitude rather than blame or avoiding true responsibility. I was fully independent and could rely on myself to draw on my internal resources, even in situations I previously thought I could not withstand. I experienced cumulative insights, fusing what I had fusing what I had learned about Eastern philosophy and cognitive science together into a new manifesto for living. Over time, these changes have led to immense leaps in the scope and scale of my work and to finding personal fulfillment and security in a way that I never thought possible.
Thank you so much. Who can say the same for their work? In Arbonne, most of you, not everybody, we're getting more people not in Arbonne, but are we feeling a fulfillment or a frustration? Does it depend if you have a good month end or a rubbish month end? Yeah, I'd like to think we're always feeling fulfilled. And the challenge is to always, be in a state of gratitude. Both, says Lorraine. Yeah, both. Yeah, absolutely. Jane Thompson, how do you feel in your line of work?
Lately, I've been very frustrated with myself, but all is changing.
What
We
is
have a good
changing?
one.
So really, if we know that we reflect, the world reflects our inner world, right? It mirror images, our feelings, our head-heart connection, all of that, the cognitive state of us. So let's go into the introduction. The little quote by Henry Ford. Now, can I just say, throughout this book, I was reading so many quotes that have been repeated again and again and again in masterpieces of books. Like I hear them like they're embedded now. Straight away, if you think you can, if you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford quote. Yeah, they are. They're everywhere. So we know this is so true. Okay, turn over. So now we're on to numbers, number 2. And we're going to go actually on to number 3. So she basically she starts about going back to kind of the planet, to having a smaller skull, to where we, originated from. And as we grow, the brain grows. Yeah, we were Neanderthal at one time, primitive, we stand up. I remember seeing a documentary about the biggest things I know as human beings, Homo sapiens, that the difference between us and animals, I do understand the brain. However, we know that dolphins have a wonderful brain. But for us as primates, the pincer grip has changed our world. Compared to other animals, the pincer grip, being able as a monkey to do this has allowed us to be so much more creative and make things. Yeah, just through the pincer grip, which is incredible because if you really think about it, not many animals, I don't think, have pincer grips, and that changed a lot for us as human beings. Apart from the brain, but I'm talking about the physical attributes. So the top of page 3, she says, we moved from emotions to logic. And this is something that we're facing now, modern world. So that first paragraph there, all the way down to autopilot that we could not turn off. Elaine, I have not seen you for a very long time. Irish, to be true, to be true. So it is.
I don't have the book, but I'm hopping on.
I didn't think you had. I had a feeling you didn't, but I didn't care anyway. I wanted to do my Irish impersonation and just say hello. It's been a while. Good to see you. All right, then this one is on the lovely. Let us get Maritza, please.
Hola.
Hola.
Hola. We move away from emotions to logic and facts, and survival through competition become our means to an end. We lost the sense of abundance that had got us so far, and the sense that there was enough for everyone. We lost our relationship with fate. We needed to control fate and have more than everyone else. We stopped the simple life connections, like sitting around a campfire, telling story, gazing at the star, or walking barefoot in nature. Continue?
Uh, yes, go all the way down to that we could not turn off.
Okay, to cultivate agriculture and create industries where power and status outweighed collaboration on peaceful coexistence. We stopped being and started doing a lot of things existing on a kind of autopilot that we could not turn off.
Yes, autopilot. How many people would say now, as an adult, you have woken up or you're awakening, or you always felt different, even as a child, and couldn't pinpoint it, you didn't understand, but there was a guidance there that you never switched off, or maybe you had it, lost it, got it back. Who'd like to share there? Lorraine, go ahead.
Well, obviously I'm weird. There's no getting over that. But I always, even at school, just thought that I was different. I can't really explain it. You know, people, when we were 14, we had to write where we would be at the age of 25. Everyone else was married with 2.2 kids. And I put that I would own property, I would have my own business, not a child in sight, and that I would be having a great time, I would be traveling, and I would be just living my best life. And everyone said, well, who do you think you are? And I replied to say, I'm Lorraine Wesleby. Who are you? I mean, slightly cocky, yes, maybe a bit of an ego then, but I just always felt, and there's Karen laughing at me, quite rightly so, but I just always felt, why do everybody want to put you into that pigeonhole of being like them when there's so much more out there? And often I could see things and I would say, that happened 2 days ago, I saw that happen, or I felt that happen, or I walked down that street and I saw it. And I just decided you just need to accept your weirdness, full stop.
Embrace you. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you call yourself, but you've got to love it, right? Absolutely. And I do believe, I know for me, as a little girl, I would call it I'd call it a funny feeling because I didn't know how to describe it, where I would almost be able to, like, I remember the phone ringing and my mom, before she answered, I said, "Oh, Mom, that's the guy calling you from America." And my mom looked at me as if to say, What are you talking about, Fiona? And it was. And she was a bit like, that was weird. And I would have funny feelings, like I'd be able to predict things. And I was a child, so I'd just say it because I would feel it. And I didn't have any hesitation or resistance to it because I didn't understand. It didn't sound normal. And then every time I said it, it would happen. But then I remember people looking at me differently and sort of making weird comments and like, why would, like, and then I stopped because I was embarrassed and I lost it. It's like a memory, if you don't use it, you lose it. And then as I got older, I kind of reignited that and understood that was my inner voice. Buddha says we all have that inner voice that we choose most of the time not to listen to. That was my guide. That was, my intuition, call it. And so now I lean into it and I have a relationship with it and I ask for help. I ask for signs all the time. Am I doing this? Am I going in the right direction? Show me a sign. And I get it because I have a relationship that I have now cultivated that was always there. And I think really for all of us, it is in there, and it's finding that, listening to that inner voice and then going against what this paragraph has said we've been forced to become. Raquel, your hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, for instance, I used to experience things, really weird things, like when I was little. People say it's bossy, but actually I would say, oh, let's just go this way. And then we go this way and there was money on that way. Or when I would say, I would see a situation, then suddenly I was like, I've already seen that, so this is what's going to happen. And then just say it. I mean, I still have these deja vu feelings on a regular basis where I just think, I've been here, I've done this, I'm supposed to do this. And it was very interesting that it was when I was doing everything that the book says and listening to yourself and everything is when I had the best job of my life and I was at my happiest. And once I stopped listening and I thought I have to become a more logical person, I have to become, I have to stop faffing around because even my teachers used to say to my mom, Raquel just lives on a world of her own. She can do whatever, but she doesn't listen. She just does whatever she really wants to do. And it was and at the time, obviously, it was a weird sensation because everybody's like, well, why are you against every single current? We all want to do this. You always say you want to do this. We all want to follow this person, and you say, no, let's just do this other stuff. And it's very interesting because it's only when I've come back and I say, actually, I'm gonna accept who I am and accept the fact that yes, I am weird and I am bossy and I am big and I am loud and I am everything you want to do. It's only then that I've actually realized actually I'm becoming happier and happier and happier. And things are my health is getting back into its place. The business is slowly coming back. So it just feels very interesting, exactly for what you just said, just accept your weirdness.
Yeah, embrace it. We can maybe change that word weird to something like uniqueness.
Yeah, but I think
Or
it's
your
these
gift,
people.
your
But
gift.
I was just going to say, but Fiona, when you are different and you don't follow the same current as everybody else, people think you're weird because they want to. I don't think they mean to be mean. I just think that it is. They just think that why are you not following like everyone else? So they just think you're difficult. That's the word. They think you're difficult, and I think that's where you got to realize that you have to stand by yourself. You're not difficult. You just think in a different way.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on. Absolutely. Yes. My battery on my computer. I don't know. Let's go. Mintu, your hand is up. Over to you, my lovely.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I just wanted to mention about that where it says like we stopped being and started doing so much because I just had this conversation earlier in the summer with my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, because she's Chinese and we were in Finland like we are always in every summer, but she's missed, well, she hasn't been there a couple of summers now, and she was so happy to be back. And one evening we were just chatting on the balcony and watching, like they were by the river in Turku where I'm from, and people, we could just, there was just somebody sitting there by the river and just sitting and staring, and she was saying like, "Ah, this is just so," because in Finland you can see people still like just being, not doing anything, and they can just sit there and just stare into the scenery and just be. And you never see that in Asian people. Only people who you can see sitting like in a park or anywhere not doing anything are like really really old people, like very. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And we do lots of that, like in our summer cottage and stuff. We can just sit there by the water for hours and looking. And maybe that's why Finland still it keeps being the happiest country in the world, because we still do a lot of that being. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah,
Mm.
thank you. Along with all the houses having their own saunas as well.
Yes, that's true as well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Shannon, your hand is up.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here. This is my first time joining since I've become a member of the group.
We're happy to have you. Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah, I've been like a lot of you had many intuitive experiences since I was a child. But the difference is with me, I've never felt, even though I've always watched the beat of my own drum, I was always more of a leader, not a follower, and I never felt, that I was weird or had any issues with that situation. For me, it was always like every experience that I had, like my intuition always protected me and saved me. And I definitely know that in all my experiences too, that I've had like guardians and spirits and angels that I've had, interactions with. And then also with kind of like, even if I was doing something that wasn't like the norm, nobody ever thought that that was weird. If anything, then people actually kind of wanted to then follow. So I didn't have the same reactions that people like looking down on me for my actions. If anything, I was the one that was blazing a trail. So that was just my reaction or difference growing up. Yeah, so I thought I'd share that.
That's nice to hear. Thank you for sharing, Shannon. Thank you. Donna, you put some Donna wise words in chat that I know people listening to the recording won't see. Can you share, please?
Oh, sure. I was saying that the way we start our day, the morning, when we start our morning, is so important to wake up and do whatever it is to connect with that higher self, God, whatever it is, your higher power, because that's the connection to that part of you doesn't happen automatically, and especially doesn't happen if you wake up in the morning and look at your cell phone, look at your text message, look at your email. It just doesn't happen. And I was listening to Abraham Hicks this morning, and it was like a light bulb that went off in that same vein. Actually wrote it down today. Once a thought is recognized and received, a good feeling thought is going to manifest into a good feeling manifestation, and a bad feeling thought is going to manifest into a bad feeling experience. So we have so much control, as what she talks about in this book as well. We have so much control over our thinking. And those of you who have those intuitions over the years, you got it. You got it. I can't imagine, like Lorraine, when you were so powerful when you said to your classroom, I'm gonna be here when I'm 25. You already connected to that inner being inside of you. You had to have. It doesn't happen otherwise. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love that. Absolutely. Beautiful. Okay. Let's go to faith and science. So over to page 4. So this is a bit about, I love what she explains about the background here. So it's the second full paragraph. Until now, the best known proponents of the idea that we can create the life we want, all the way down to the bottom, like a manifesto for magical thinking. Oh, well, the voice of an angel in her silky tones. She knows who she is. She's laughing. I don't even need to say her name. I would love you to read this for us. We've missed you the last couple of weeks, so off you go.
I've missed you. Thank you so much. I've missed you all. Thank you. Until now, the best known proponents of the idea that we can create the life we want by changing the way we think have met with universal criticism from scientists for their suggestion that thoughts themselves are magnetic with a vibrational frequency that moves outwards into the universe and is met with an effect. These claims for vibration and resonance have not been grounded in empirical science. As a result, subscribing to them has, until now, required a leap of faith, asking us to choose to believe that if we think positively, we will attract many desired elements into our life. This can create an impression of a passive process where we could sit at home or on a desert island and miraculously change the world. Of course, this is impossible, and to the skeptic's ear, advocates of the law of attraction, manifesting, and abundance make the whole thing sound like a manifesto for magical thinking.
Thank you. Thoughts on that, Steph?
It's it's when I first discovered this whole way of thinking and being, I was so excited to tell people about it. And obviously there was some resistance about, all around me. And I just feel like sometimes we are, and I would imagine everybody on this call is somebody who is we persevere in the ideal that we have of how we want to live our life.
Mhm.
And so the resistance that we get when we try and share these ideas, it doesn't really matter because as Mel Robbins is telling us, we cannot control what other people think. We have over 70,000 thoughts on a daily basis. How could we ever expect? We can't, well, we can control ours to a certain degree. We can't control anybody else's thoughts.
Mhm.
So it's so interesting to me that the thing of magical thinking, skeptics can use that expression as a way to diminish how we choose to live. And yet I'm very proud of magical thinking. And Jordan Didion has written an extraordinary piece, a book, The Year of Magical Thinking. Because if we're not thinking magically, I mean, I'm very happy whatever side of the brain is, I'm very happy that I can prove to somebody that a doctor and a very smart person is endorsing this.
Mhm.
But I'm more interested in how, like Donna says, how I wake up and what I want to connect to and how deeply I know that affects everything. So yeah, I love that this gives us credibility.
Mhm.
But I also love that all of us here somehow embrace this force that we have within ourselves to be pursuing this in
Yeah.
all the different ways that we can.
Absolutely.
Incidentally, my nickname as a kid was Moonbeam from my family. They called me Moonbeam. My mom still does. Moonbeam, she says.
Ruby.
Yeah.
Oh.
And also the other thing that I was thinking about when we were reading previously, my brother and my sister and my brother-in-law constantly this summer when we were sitting at the lake, they're so busy. They're so busy. I work. I work so much. I work so much. They were saying that about themselves. They were constantly thinking that they have no time to enjoy anything because they are really into doing more than being. And it was a great contrast for me. And I was very grateful. And I journaled about it most days of how grateful I was to see that we are different in the way that we choose to live.
Yeah.
And it's
Absolutely.
really nice that we connect with each other around that idea because it's not lonely, it's wonderful.
Well said. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Steph. I love
Thank you.
Moonbeam. Moonbeam. Ah, my mum called me Twinkle Toes. That was my nickname because I did
Very
that
good.
till I was 17. So, yes, Twinkle Toes. I also want to say about, we talk about one of the laws of being cause and effect. Well, how about integrating the two and talk about causing an effect? Because we're that side of the law. We're the cause. The effect, there's always an effect because of the cause. But how about causing an effect? I really think that, and interesting enough, you said about your left brain, right brain. When I earned the Tiffany Incentive for the Arbonne, which was very amazing, I was the only UK person, and they flew me to New York. I got picked up in a limousine and then taken to a hotel, and they gave me $1,000 to spend in Tiffany's. Okay, we went for breakfast in Tiffany's, and we went for a meal in a restaurant next door to where Devil Wears Prada was filmed. It was a beautiful experience. But when I was in the taxi coming back from Tiffany's, I sat beside another consultant who had also owned the trip. She was an American. She was a great niece of Albert Einstein. And she sat and told me about the left and right brain. And we have this infinity sign. And she said the fact that her great uncle was so incredible is because he didn't use either or of the brain. He was basically he was able to use the two brains simultaneously at one time. at the same time, the left and the right. It was like they were fused. So he was always causing an effect because he was that's how smart he was. Like we go right or left, but he was able to combine the two. It was like literally the thought process was like that figure of eight. He could really go switch between the one or the other side at any time. Like, that's incredible. I don't know where this girl is now, but how cool is that? You know, this was the beginning of me, you know, really starting to understand what this stuff was and, you know, and loving it, like addicted to it. Like, I love this stuff. Like, oh my God, it's better than sex. No, well, saying anyway, but you know what I'm saying? It just is so good. So good. Nikki, your hand is up.
Didn't she drop some gems about the protein in that cab journey as well?
Yes,
Yeah,
she
share
did.
that because that pokes you in between the eyes, right?
You share it because I've talked too much. You share it.
I don't actually. I just remember them. She came in with some like incredible facts about it, and you were like, you know, just that level of appreciation. I love that thing. Just to like come in on the balance and the infinity. I've been working a lot with that. The last 8 all this 8 Leo stuff, and it is about being balanced. And you know, the only way we're going to get through this transition that we're in with the year of the snake is to be balanced in our cause and effect and both sides of our brain and everyone being balanced. So he was inherently that way. So isn't that cool?
Yeah.
What a clever man.
Exactly.
So,
And he was all about the imagination, as we know, because that was Lorraine
yeah.
Westby's word of the year 2 years ago was imagination.
Yeah. Mine is remember, and it has been the most profound word I've ever had.
Remember. Love it. Okay. Down to so now we're talking modern science. So she's talking about age-old practices, mindfulness, which Donna, thank you for touching on, ancient medical principles. So let's read this because again, I feel like we have to get a really good grasp of this because this is going to work for every single one of us. At the end of this book, we all will have an action board and we'll all be scribing, journaling, and we will all achieve what it is we want. Nobody's going to come off this book the same as they are now. Yeah, that's my intention for us all together in this book. So we are going to take a little while, and that's okay. But I really want everyone to get a good grasp of this. There's going to be no stone left unturned. I don't want anyone to feel left behind. And if you are, you need to speak up, okay? Because these beautiful, miraculous minds around me can help you as well. Okay, so the bottom of that page, however, just as modern science shows, all the way over to the top of page 5, but it just finished up that second sentence where it says, in contrast, as adults, we have to consciously direct ourselves to grow and develop as people. I would like the lovely, let us get an Di Daring. This one is on you, please.
Okay, that I found the unmute button.
Yes.
And I didn't see where it ends, but I'll find it here. Okay, however, just as modern science shows us how age-old practices such as mindfulness and many of the ancient medical principles of Ayurveda have demonstrable evidence-based benefits, so our understanding of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to flex and change, demonstrates that directing our thoughts can influence not only our perception of reality, but also our material life circumstances, our relationships, and the situations we attract into or tolerate in our lives. The way we think determines our life. The way we think determines our life. I have to repeat that. This is a simple idea, but a powerful one. Our brains actively grow and change during childhood. In contrast, as adults, we have to consciously direct ourselves to grow and develop as people.
That's it. Thank you. Okay, you're spot on there. So the way we think determines our life, and this is a simple idea, but a powerful one. Maybe too simple because it's so easy. And that's the problem. Like Steph said, if we're thinking, I thought it was 60,000 thoughts a day. Steph's thinking 70,000 thoughts a day. So she's far more intelligent than me. She's thinking 10,000 more thoughts than me a day. But the point being is, as again, as the species, human species on planet Earth, we get to choose as a co-creator anything we want to be. An apple seed can only be an apple tree. A lamb can only be, a sheep. Like they can't, an acorn can only be an oak tree. That's it. But we can speak in any language, live in any country, choose any life we want. Yet because we have so many choices, we hold ourselves in bondage. Like we start to think small and act small. We hold ourselves in fear. We don't think we're worthy or good enough. I mean, why? When the simple thing is, the way we think determines our lives. Is it so hard? Isn't that fascinating? We've given all the tools, yet we are not able to access probably 3/4 of our power. So Keely, your hand is up. Oh, in out.
Yeah, on off. So it's interesting what we're talking about tonight, because I did a mindset training today, and even though it's stuff that I practice all the time and I teach, one of the things that I recognized today is that because of being told to, shut up, be quiet, don't share your voice when I was a little kid, I recognized that I wasn't sharing my inner truth and my voice and speaking up and saying what I believe in. And the ironic thing is that I was actually teaching this in the workshop last week, and everything that I was teaching, I was actually saying to myself. And part of it is what's been impacting the growth of my business, because what it was saying is that when your inner world your business success is affected by your inner world and how you show up. And it was so powerful, and it was almost like a eureka moment for me. I'm getting a bit emotional about it again, but it's so true. It's so true. And all the while we don't actually connect with our inner truths, we keep ourselves down. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Enlightening. What's your word of the year, Keely? Just quickly.
Expansion.
Oh, it's all coming into the effect now, isn't it? It's coming in. That's so interesting. 8 months into a year. Because your word, guys, is the most, for me, it's that, this, it's that one thing, it's that connection, it's that umbilical cord. Like, keep that at the front of your mind, because it's going to come true for you. Yeah, well done. Well done, Keely. Okay. So interesting to say that as a child, look at this, the top of that page 5, where it says our brains actively grow and change during childhood. So we're not giving any thought to it. But in contrast, as adults, we have to consciously direct ourselves to grow and develop. And again, on those thoughts, if they are, 60, 70,000 thoughts a day, I've heard that over 70% of those thoughts a day are going to be negative. And also they're going to be repeated. I think it's a higher percentage. The same thoughts that you thought yesterday, 5 days ago, 5 weeks ago, 5 years ago. And again, for things to change, you have to change. And this is why we're studying these books, to get new thoughts, new ideas. 90% says mental, gosh. Okay, so again, this is why, like back to Donna saying, it is so important from the minute you wake up. And Donna, we know, unmute for me, Donna, in Abraham Hicks especially, she talks about that's your first, in the day, that's the biggest chance we have, because when we sleep, we're subconscious, right? We're not activated of all that stuff. And when first we wake up, to get into that right vibration means that we can change. So Donna, talk more about that.
I think that's, and everything I'm listening to now, I even shared in the group a wonderful meditation with Dr. Joe Dispenza, all about that first thing in the morning. And it makes such a difference, because when you're vibrating at that level, it's easier to, I hate to use the word combat, but the negative thoughts and the negative feelings. But it's just crazy how when you wake up in the morning and you don't do that, the day doesn't go as well. It just doesn't feel as good. And it's it's very different. Most people in the world, most of my family, my friends, they don't do this. They don't understand this, you know. And I have to, like Mel Robbins says, let them be them. But we're all here. Our goal is to build and grow our life at a higher consciousness level. And like Abraham says, first thing in the morning. And I have to tell you something interesting. For years and years, I meditated on and off and on and off. This year, I'm so proud of myself because I'm almost to 365 days that I woke up every single day and I meditated every day. Even if, longest is 20 minutes, even if it's just 10 minutes, just open the eyes. And I remember Abraham, she says, or Esther says, eyes open, I go, oh, I love my pillow. I love my room. I love my friends. I love my family. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. That just changes everything. It changes your whole mindset. This book is filled with so much wonderful information, and it's easy for us to go back and not remember to do this. This is why this book club is amazing, and having like-minded friends makes such a difference for all of us. It really does.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you, Donna. I know for me, I've done this for many, many years. So the first thing I do when I wake up is with my eyes shut, I have my 10 fingers and I do gratitude of 10 things. And actually, 6 of them are repeated, but the 4 I get to choose what I want. And also, I know, Nikki, we've talked about bookends of the day. What you do in the morning is just as important as what you do at night. So to help me go to sleep, I fall asleep on gratitude. Like I remind myself throughout the day of the things that to be thankful for. And that's when I normally fall off to sleep. So falling asleep and waking up with gratitude. I then get out of bed, and the first thing I do is when I put my 2 feet on the floor, I say, thank you. Yeah. Then I'll get on with the day, which very much my hour of power is actually more like an hour and a half, 2 hours, because I will then run, I'm listening, I'm almost in a meditative state. I'm doing I come back, my declarations, my affirmations in the shower. I then meditate, I then read. Yeah. And then the day is ready to go. But that grace of God, that time to sit in, I mean, I'm all about the word silent, is to listen, change it all around, silent to listen, to go within, you know. And again, the only time we stop thinking about all the stuff and we go in is through meditation, and also laughter. Definitely laughter, which, it's a medicine, right? And it's free. Steph, your hand is up.
So good. So good. Donna, when you just said, if you don't, not starting your day that way, it doesn't feel good. And it reminded me of the importance of feeling good. It's all about the feeling. So it's one thing to think these things, it's a whole other thing to really feel it. And that I think what happens when you practice, because sometimes maybe people think, oh, well, I'm writing down my gratitude list, but I'm not noticing a difference. With the practice comes the deepening connection to that gratitude, and the feeling blossoms and kind of, right, explodes in the best possible way. And the ripple effect of that is everything. It's everything. It's everything. When you walk into a shop, like when Donna Weiser, probably the first person that she sees in the first store that she goes into to pick up something, immediately she's going to affect that person. And that person is going to feel an energy from Donna that might change her day or his day, their day. And the ripple effect of all of that, like the importance of the morning routine, oh my gosh, that's what changes the world.
Mm-hmm.
We change the world with our energy. So it's, whatever time we have to wake up to make that happen for ourselves, it's worth it, because that's the legacy. That's the legacy of how you walk into any store and buy a thing of milk or whatever. It's that simple. And that's kind of the Mintu thing of being as opposed to doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're so wrapped up in the meaning of external things. It's the connection,
Absolutely.
isn't it? Yeah.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
also, thank you. I can see Donna when she's cuddling a pillow. Like I have a silk pillowcase. It's like, oh, so I like that. Oh, squirmish, warm, like feeling. Or I'm gonna say along the lines, when you do have this down to fine art, guys, when you have those bookends of the day, you can be anywhere in the world, any time zone, any country, and you still feel grounded. you still feel like you're in control, you know. And I know for me, moving to Canada, away from everything I've built up, like, start from scratch, literally knowing just really Sean, but my bookends, and I never felt scared or nervous or alone because I was grounded in me. Yeah. So that's the great thing as well, that you can take this wherever you go and you never lose you in it. Keely, your hand is up.
So, based on what Steph was saying, the interesting thing is when I was writing down what I'm not doing, we're then asking, how is that? It's like, what feeling is showing up when you say that, and what is the cost that it's having? And by writing down what the cost was, so the cost to my health, my well-being, my relationships, work, my growth in my business, or the values, all of those things. And as you're writing them down, of course, that's where you're connecting to that feeling with yourself. And that's when you're truly, truly, deeply getting an alignment with why it's so important. And it's so, so valuable to do that exercise and say it out loud as you're doing that as well.
Yeah, love it. Thank you, Keely. Look at you. You like got the tree and the sun, and you look like your beautiful blue top, like just look like you're floating right there. It's beautiful. I'm expecting these butterflies to come out now. All right, let's do, is that Dottie who's just had a birthday?
It is Dottie.
There she is. Go ahead, Dottie.
With the magical number now, 44. I do feel it's going to be a great year. So
it
that's
is.
thing. Yeah. I'm on my phone and listening. And then because I'm following a Polish lady, she is really into development and exercises. She's doing her own diet. And you're never going to believe, because email just come up. And the title is, Your Morning Has Got Bigger Impact Than You Think. Just that email came up, and she was saying about sleeping at least 7 hours, and then don't start with your phone, because then you're in a rush and you are taking things from the phone. Even 10 minutes has a massive impact on your morning. Stretch out, have a little bit of a deep breathing, few breaths, and then you're gonna feel completely different. Your day is gonna go better, and your day is gonna be a great day. Completely opposite if you start in a rush, and it's not necessary getting up at 5 and doing really big things, but 10 minutes being aware of your thinking, of your thoughts. So that's what she just put on. Perfect timing.
Love it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. And also, guys, I know being present, because I can see like Jade's on here and she's got 4 little ones, and Danny and all of that. And I remember like when I was just starting out in this, and I thought, oh, I can be really, like in control. And so I'd like end up with the girls and, like sit them down for breakfast, run to my computer, get a couple of emails, go back, like, and then I was probably late. They'd made a mess. I didn't have time to clean up the mess. Then I'm rushing them to school late. Then I get back. Then there's a mess in the house. And then I have to go back because I can't remember what I put in my computer, the emails I sent, because I wasn't present. I was doing all for everything and nothing for, so again, it's that sitting in those buckets of time, like do it in the present. Otherwise, and that means that goes back to just saying, okay, this, this is my work to do on me, and not rush it and not be distracted, phone off, all those beep, beep, beeps, stop, again, sitting still, peace, silent, listen, going back to the silence between the words, the silence between the notes, that we can hear the different notes of music. That's the magic. Because if you didn't have the silence, you wouldn't be able to differentiate all the different notes being played. We have Raquel, your hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a point about something that I didn't realize until obviously my children became very much older, and I didn't have to rush them to school and everything because they started driving themselves. And obviously, my husband decided that he was going to do it. And one of the things is I had my best year the year that I follow Hal Elrose morning routine. and obviously I wasn't strong enough to keep everything, but I kept bits and bobs here and there. And until I actually came to realize that just because he wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I had to do it too. Because I'm a nocturnal person, so I'm not a morning person. So waking up at 5 was killing me. And actually doing it on the terms that he was doing it, then it was just not good for me. And then I realized that, yes, it is the best practice when you wake up and you do it straight away. But if you have, but I also wake up and nowadays I don't have an alarm. I wake up when I wake up, and then it doesn't matter that I do it at 10 o'clock in the morning or, or midday if I've gone out the night before. Because at the end of the day, is what you just said right now, is about being present. And it doesn't matter if I have to rush my children off to school. When I had to rush my children off to school, then I felt like I had missed it if I didn't do it beforehand. But I don't think that matters. And perhaps Donna can confirm one way or the other. But I think it's the fact that you are present and doing it there rather than becoming a chore, that you just have to do it in order to do it well.
Yeah, interesting. You see, for me, I like the regime. For me, it's like I like to set my alarm. I like to get up. That's probably the soldier in me too, because it's like it keeps me like my day, because yeah, it keeps me like if I'm late, I feel out. Like I feel like I'm not, you know what I mean? I like having this for me personally. But Donna, is she still on? She's gone now. Okay, well maybe she can comment next time. Elaine, your hand is up.
Yeah, I think you were talking about being your authentic self. And I think in terms of that self-acceptance, and that's when things start to align. And I guess, for me as well, I've had to simplify things. So I'd had some stuff going on with my house, different things, building project went over budget, ceiling came in and stuff like that. So I had to sort of focus. And it was that part about, the power of intention. So that was my daily affirmation, that this is going to get paid off by August. Everything's going to be cleared by August. And I do Airbnb, and I'm a super host. And then I was like, I'm in the office 4 days a week. I need some help. So then I manifested some help, and the neighbor came in. And I think it's that bit about sometimes, the expression, let go, let God, and just that knowing that it's going to happen. And it has happened, but I had to strip things back, because I think sometimes when you got too many things in your basket, you're not focused enough. And certainly in respect to you, Fiona, your 100% focus has always been on Arbor. I think some of us are juggling sort of different businesses and things like that, and I think that's the power of intention, the self-belief, the authenticity, and the repetition, and that happens.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you so much. I would say, like, just back to you, Raquel, as well, when people say to me, like, if I do the 30 days, or I had 2 nights off or whatever, I'm like, at least you're doing it. Rather, to me, it's just, it's got to be right for you. If we're being authentic with this, then as long as you're doing it, it really doesn't matter how and why, what, you're going to get the same results, because you're going to do it the way that feels right for you. Do you know what I mean? So I would never say that's, for me personally, I love getting up. Like I love running I always say the heartbeat of the universe, especially when it's winter, because there's no one, I'm running on the moon and the stars with no light, and it's just my turn on kind of thing. Call me weird. No, we're not saying that word weird. Call me special, unique. Mintu, your hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say about to that what Raquel was also saying, like, and about being authentic and realizing that you can do it in your own time, because I feel that there's been a lot of pressure about the fact that, oh, you have to be up at 5 or 6 and you have to be do it everything like the early bird gets the worm, and they've now kind of, it's been now shown that there are two, and has been like one of the like survival tactics of our species, that there are the two types. There's the evening late night owls and the early birds, because that's how you had to have the both. The other ones, the ones who were up all night and late evening and up all night to keep the watch and keep the tribe safe. And then there's the early ones. And then, you know, so it's now great to kind of realize that, yeah, maybe I am the evening owl, and that's okay, because I can still do things authentically in my terms and my time, as long as you do the
There we
things
go.
like, yeah. So there's
Yes.
often a lot of pressure from like one group that then becomes like the
Sure.
main sound voice.
Thank you, Mintu. Very good. Okay, guys, let's go to the bottom of page 5. So this is where she says, so we're going from, it's kind of halfway through the second paragraph. So it's towards, right at the sort of, yeah, halfway down, she says, my approach, so it's really at the end, my approach is strongly based all the way down for a better tomorrow. We've got some newbies on the call, so welcome you newbies. I am going to get, though, Jade, can you find that? This one's on you, if you can see that to read it.
Yep. Hello, everyone. My approach is strongly based on the proven brain-body connection, the concept that the brain and body are inextricably linked and have knock-on effects on each other, mostly via the neuroendocrine system, which includes all of our glands and hormones, and the autonomic nervous system, which is all of our nerves apart from the brain itself and the spinal cord. Our ability to thrive is governed by the physical condition of our emotional and logical brain and the quality of thoughts that we allow to arise from it. Whatever that condition and quality may be today, the elasticity of the brain means that we have the ability to change our brain pathways and therefore our lives for a better tomorrow.
Thank you so much. So at the bottom of that page, this says a sentence, this is not blind faith, but faith based in science. So like Steph, you were talking, finally, we have an author here who's a doctor, science-based. And, you know, to me, I love that, because that Australian doctor I met in Fiji on Tony Robbins' course was all about the numbers. And she said, I'm a science-based doctor. However, this brings in, you know, the other side, the flip side, the faith side, the spirit side, as well, which to me is great, because if we talk about balance, back to that infinity, Nikki, the two sides, you know, when you were dying olden days, you had the priest and you had the doctor. Why can't they be together? Like, why do they have to be separate? Like, why does it have to be like you said, Mintu, you know, people are night and day, like, you know, we can, as long as it fits, you know, but I love this cross reference here, that we've got the two going on here, and that she's proof. Okay, so we're going to go over to page, on the introduction, page 8. Just quickly here, I'm going to do the bottom paragraph. It's just the first sentence. I'm going to read this. Developing metacognition, or thinking about thinking and becoming aware of one's awareness rather than functioning on autopilot, is one of the main objectives of the source. Now, we know, I always say awareness is the first step to change, but I'm not going to change that. Is awareness is your first step to transformation, because this is transformational for all of us. And for those of you who have read Bob Proctor with me, and we know that the lower faculties of the mind is survival mode, which is to hear, think, see, smell, and taste. But the higher faculties are actually the transformational. They are the faculties that will make a change. And they are, Nikki Marchand, because I know you've got them by your computer. Please read them out for all of us to hear.
You've got a memory of a freaking elephant. Okay, yes, I just was consulting my post-it note. It says here, 6 higher faculties of the mind. Here it is. Reason, memory, perception, will, intuition, imagination.
Okay. Imagination, we already spoke about. That was Lorraine's word of the year, Albert Einstein. Yeah. Yep. What was the other one? The will.
Sorry, I'll read it a bit slower. Reason, memory, That relates to my word of the year, which is, remember, perception, will, intuition, imagination.
Okay, intuition we've touched on. The memory, we know that. I have a memory like an elephant. It is my strength and it's also my weakness. Can be a curse at sometimes because I remember everything anyone ever said to me at one time. And in Arbonne, a lot of people say yes and mean no, and say no and mean yes, and oh Jesus, whatever. And I'm going to be the next 20 wide national vice president. I remember this saying that, shaking my hand, still waiting. Mind, we won't go into that one. But anyway, so we have the perception, which is something here. Remember, for things to change, you have to change. So the will, now that's another one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because,
free will. Everyone has free will.
yeah. And what was the other one?
Well, we've talked about intuition and all our super talents as we were young, which we all had. Any money in this group whilst everyone else was speaking. And imagination.
Imagination.
Reason. But I think what's really interesting about this book is, as I'm sitting here, is that we've all been so out of balance and, you know, channeled, as we've heard, you know, like sit down, shut up, you know, all of that, that, you know, we haven't been able to recognize that we have these other faculties. You know, it's all been very dumbed down. And reason, that whole sense, we need the science to justify something like The Secret or the law of attraction. It's now being proven by science, but we need it because we've had it so suppressed. If we could actually trust our gut and trust our own intuition, we'd know we don't need to prove it with science. We know what the truth is. And that is where I'm coming out more and more and more, is I don't need science to prove it because I freaking know now. And that is where we all need to get to. And you ask the universe for a sign, you will get it. I ask for a sign. I've asked for a sign every single day and I've got it every single day. I've seen a kingfisher every single day this week. How amazing is that?
See, this is where we will be. And I just want to say again, so that
co-creating with the universe.
Co-creating, that's right.
That's Einstein.
Yeah. Elaine, you touched on that. So about myself being with the one Arbonne. So to me, you chase two bunnies, you go hungry, you chase one bunny, you get fed. So the will is the focus. So again, it's like staring at a candle, the light. You know, iridescent light, when you focus light, it becomes a laser beam that cuts through steel. That's the will, that's the intention. Like that's what you will get, the object of your desire. How badly do you want it? And how hard are you willing to do this work? You know, because you can do it, you can achieve it, but now we're talking about this narrow path, no comparison. It's like the horse blinkers. You're going down a straight and narrow path. You are not to look left and you're not to look right. You are to look only in front of you. And like Donna Johnson says, are you a round world thinker or are you a flat world thinker? Because we know the world is round, so it doesn't end, it keeps going. You keep moving forward, you know, adjusting those goalposts. Or a bigger word than goal is desire. Desire has gotten, it's untangible, it's not tangible anymore.
But that's
right?
your will, the intention, you know, you decide.
Yes.
It's a decision, the will, that you do have the power to really, really focus your will.
Exactly. Karen's off to yoga. Thank you, Karen. We are on time. We're finished now. The 6 words, Shannon, are imagination.
I'll put them in the chat. I'll put them in the chat.
Okay, there you go. They're on the chat, Sharon.
What were they from again, though? Well, you said.
Oh, Bob Proctor's book. You Were Born Rich.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was the second book we read, I think, on book club. It's powerful. But anyway, so now we know. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Welcome to our newbies. Can I get away from the new people first time? Because I know there's a few of you. So good, my God. And we will now come back on page 9. Chrissy, make a note of that, page 9. She's got it. On the introduction, I know we're not even in chapter 1 yet, but you know what? I want everybody to get a firm foundation so you know what's going on and you know, understand, and then we build on that. Does that make sense? Thank you so much. Love you all. Lucy, quickly, your hand is up.
Yeah, sorry, love. You said that you were changing awareness is first step to change, but I didn't write quick enough what you said you were changing it to.
First step to transformation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know that's been somebody's word as well. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you next week. Same time. Lots of love. Bye, everybody.